You'd think that after 15 years of doing this, the shooting part would be the easy part, and it's not. So one shoot, I'm fine. Two in a day, that will be rough. And if I have to shoot like 2 days in a row, then for another 2 days I can do anything. I feel exhausted, I feel tired. I have ADHD, and curiously the way that I work is built around having ADHD in a way. Whenever I felt a symptom or something, I built like a way to go around it. So why the exhaustion happens? It's not like I am getting tired of carrying the gear or moving stuff or walking or whatever. It's the actual masking that I need to do my job well. Managing the client or having the creative capacity to do different compositions, color, managing lighting. It's also switching from all these tasks, creative, technical, social. It's difficult to do those things, at least for me, because ultimately a shoot, it's not just pointing the camera at something and clicking a button. It's managing the pressure alongside all of it, and it's the staying on like for many hours at a time. And while I'm doing my job, it's not noticeable. I'm fine. People doesn't notice. I even don't notice it. It's not after the shoot while I'm like cleaning my equipment or arriving home and I feel exhausted. I'm shooting at a park, so there's like people screaming and dogs. They're cute, by the way. It's not the optimal place to be shooting, but there's actually less noise here than in my house. And that is just one part of it. There's also the impulsivity part. That has cost me jobs, that has cost me money in a lot of ways. When I get a message and I respond in an impulsive way, not rude or anything, it's just I'm not thinking clear about what the client says, and I just want to get through it fast so I sometimes don't get a full picture of what the client is searching for. That translates to not closing a sale. Also, forgetfulness. I receive a message or an email and I say to me, I'll answer this later, and that later never comes. Impulsivity can also be a threat to the business because I switched cameras 4 times when I was starting photography. I didn't need to do that, and that money could have been spent better in other ways to grow the business, to have more clients, in equipment that I actually needed, like lights or microphones or other stuff, not just a camera, even better lenses. For a business, that is bad. It can also mean that I am not consistent. I don't post regularly. I forgot to do it. So all this has an impact in income. It's sometimes inconsistent. It took me a long time to identify what could I do to make it more stable for me. So for example, when I have a shoot, I just block my calendar for that day. I only strictly have 1 shoot a day. Just in extreme cases, I do 2, but I try to prioritize just 1. If I can, I try to leave 1 day between shoots so I can recover, because even while medicated, it can be exhausting. I also started to manage how I do the admin work. When I receive an email, I don't respond in that instant. I read it again and again and again. I try to understand what the client wants. I try to ask more questions to know what I can offer them so I can solve that problem. And of course, these systems don't come off easily. It took me years of making mistakes, not knowing what to do, not understanding myself, therapy, also money lost. I've been medicated for almost a year and a half, I think. It's been a lot easier to me. Medication helps with a lot of stuff, executive function, impulsivity, emotional stability, all these things that can happen with ADHD that make life difficult in a way are not gone, but controlled. So imagine for years, I booked shoots and did these jobs and I wasn't medicated. I felt exhausted for the next 2 to 3 days. It felt weird to having these thoughts because I saw other people working and doing stuff and never get tired the way that I did it. And I'm not complaining that I have ADHD. It's something that you learn to live with. All these things that I do around ADHD are not like good business habits. I would love to shoot 2 or 3 times a day. I would love to shoot every day of the week. But I know that if I start doing that, I'm gonna get burned out. That's one of the reasons the last 2 times that I wanted to quit that I realized that. Because you can get burned out really easily. And actually, the thing that keeps me right here is the same thing that creates all these problems. The dopamine is the key. I like doing different things. I like shooting different things. This career has helped me to know a lot of places, to know a lot of people, to be in places that almost nobody can access. And I really like that. I just had to mold the career that I wanted around the symptoms that I had, or around ADHD, if you will. Things like solving problems, having this creative urge to do something. That's actually what helped me to stay in the game. For most people, the novelty wears off after some problems, or maybe it just becomes a job and you just keep doing it because it earns you money. To me, it's the whole opposite. I just had to identify what things I needed to fix, not in myself, but in the way that I work and in the way that I manage to make this a viable career for me. Sometimes I have bumpy roads. ADHD can make that a little bit harder, but when you start building these safe nets, it's a smooth ride. Tell me, what experiences you have with ADHD in general or in your photography business. I am eager to know what systems or what tips you have to managing your business. See you in the next one.